What's up, everyone? Mr. Octagonal here from Octagonal Gaming. I have another rebuilding today. Last time we did the Jets, and I had a poll, and there were 2 votes. Both of them were for the Cleveland Browns. So that made my choice easy. So we're going to be rebuilding the Cleveland Browns. So the quarterback is definitely going to be DeShone Kizer. He'll be the long-term answer. Cody Kessler, he's probably going to have good trade value. Maybe I'll hold on to him. Brock Osweiler, get him out of here. Isaiah Crowell, he's not awful by any means, so maybe I'll keep him. Our receiver, Kenny Britt, is pretty good. Corey Coleman, I like. Josh Gordon, kids, stay off the weed. Tight end, we got the rookie David Njoku. I'm excited to develop. Offensive line is actually very solid, minus right tackle. Maybe we'll move Cameron Irving there and see how bad. No, that's kind of harsh. Let's go to the defense. Of course, we got MYLES Garrett, who actually got in the Jets rebuild. He was nowhere near as good as Jamal Adams. Danny Shelton, I do plan on keeping. Emmanuel Ogbah, I'd like to keep. Desmond Bryant, bye-bye. Linebacking core, Christian Kirksey's going to be asking for a contract, which I'm a bit concerned about. But I'm going to hold on to him, probably. Jamie Collins I want to hold on to. In the secondary, the only person I really want to hold on to is Jabril Peppers. I'm excited to develop him. He was also on the Jets rebuild. But since we had Jamal Adams, we moved him to corner, and he was not very good. But hopefully he'll do better at safety. So let's start making some trades. In our first trade, we traded Jamar Taylor, Brock Osweiler, and a second-round pick to the Washington Redskins for Josh Norman, a very good corner, who's not better than Darius Slay. Let me just get that straight right now. We traded Cody Kessler and Jason McCourty to the Bills for their first-round pick this year, and obviously with their trades, they kind of suck. We traded Calvin Pryor, a 5th-round pick, and Brian Body Calhoun, the guy who hit Odell dirty in preseason, to the Jets for their first-round pick. We traded Joe Hayden, a 4th-round pick, and Brandon Wilds, no clue who that is, to the Rams for their first-round pick this year. The Colts were so gullible in Madden 17, and all we have to do is trade Carl Nassib, Ed Reynolds, and Howard Wilson to get their first-round pick. The Colts are so gullible, they really wanted Carl Nassib. I don't get it. The Colts are just idiots sometimes. I traded Danny Vitale, Darius Hillary Clinton, and Zach Sterup to the Redskins for Will Blackman. You're probably saying, why would you get Will Blackman? He's kind of scrub. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just looked at the trade block. Our biggest need is 3 safety. And I kind of wanted to get someone from the Redskins because they, for whatever reason, are interested in a fullback. I'm probably just going to trade Will Blackman, not Will Barton. But I don't know why they would do this for basically a fullback. My friends, the Colts are still very, very gullible. We're going to trade a 3rd-round pick and Spencer Drago to the Lions for my man Jarrad Davis. Go Lions! I do want some young players as well with our 7 draft picks. So I think this is pretty good. We are trading Desmond Bryant, Xavier Cooper, and Jamie Metter to the Bears for a 1st-round pick this year and a 4th next year. I'd say this is a pretty good trade for us. We are trading Duke Johnson, Will Blackman, and Cam Johnson to the Bears for a good offensive lineman and Cody Whitehair. I did kind of want to start Roderick Johnson at right tackle, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anymore. Here's a look at the offense. DeShone Kizer, an amazing offensive line, and some decent weapons. Corral, Njoku, Kenny Britt, Corey Coleman. Defensively, our linebacking core is pretty good. Kirksey, Jarrad Davis, and Jamie Collins. Our secondary is kind of bad. We do have Jabril Peppers and Josh Norman. We also signed D. Milner because he's awful. And our defensive line is So I'm going to say maybe 3-11-1. How about that? So at the end of the season, we went 5-11, which is pretty much what we could have expected. DeShone Kizer, 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 15 picks. That's honestly a really good season. Rushing the ball, Crowell, 1,100 yards, or about 1,150 yards, which is somewhat decent. 6 touchdowns. That's not awful. Receiving, David Njoku, almost 90 catches for almost 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. Kenny Britt, 1,300 yards. Corey Coleman, Blocking, we had a very good offensive line. Joe Thomas, 12 sacks. Treader, 7. Greco, 3. And Zietler, 1. That's not awful. 38 sacks. That's honestly kind of awful, I guess. Defensively, Jarrad Davis led us in tackles with 144. Peppers with a lot of tackles as well. Sacks, you may have saw a big 20 from MYLES Garrett. 17 tackles for a loss. 10.5 for Jamie Collins and 7 for Ogbah, which is pretty good. Picks, 4 for Josh Norman. So awards, we didn't really get anything except for the obvious one, which is Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was like 6th or 7th, and Defensive Player of the Year. Jarrett Davis finished in 2nd. He only had like 5,000 XP. Peppers finished in 3rd. He had a lot of XP. David Njoku had a lot of XP. He was in 6th. Deshaun Kaiser did not. Don't know why Jarrett Davis and Kaiser didn't. So here's the XP minus Njoku on the offense. It's not looking too great, but 36,000 for Njoku is really good. Defensively, Jabril Peppers with about 40,000. Jarrett Davis 7,000. That's not great. Jamie Collins, that's not awful. Look at Myles Garrett though. I would be highly surprised if he's not a 99 because Jamal Adams was an 82. He won Rookie of the Year. He had like 57,000 XP. He went to a 95. So I would be surprised if Myles Garrett was not a 99 overall. So this is the team with not being XP yet. Let's look at the new team. Here's a look at our new offense. Kaiser is now an 80. Crowell is now an 87. David Njoku has gone up to a 93, which is absolutely huge. He's only 22 years old, and he's already such a big baller. Let's go to the defense. Jabril Peppers is now an 88. Jamie Collins is now a 90. And, of course, 84,740 XP later, Myles Garrett is a 99 overall. I am not surprised by that. Ogba's a 79, too. That's not as exciting. I honestly don't blame you. Fly, Eagles, fly. The Eagles win the Super Bowl. This is definitely a Madden sim. The trading system is still clearly broken. We traded Kenny Britt, John Greco, and Nate Orchard to the Niners for the first overall pick. In the NFL draft, we have picks 1, 2, 3, 7. It'll show me right here, so I don't have to scroll down. 12, 15, 16, and 17 in the first round, and 2nd, 17th, and 32nd in the second round. And this draft class is really, really good. With the first pick, we're going to pick Amari Marsh, who's a safety. Really good combine. Looks like an excellent player. We desperately need a 3 safety to go alongside Jabril Peppers. 78 superstar. It says we reached. 78 superstars is definitely not a reach. With the second pick, Farrell's a really good left end. I forget his name. He looks very similar to the one we drafted in the Jets rebuild, who was an 80 with superstar, but for whatever reason, he's not in the draft, so we're going to draft the second best one, E.J. Robertson, who still looks really good. Now we have Ogba. We may move this guy who's 6'7", 260, or Ogba to defensive tackle. He looks like an absolute monster. 83 normal. That normal obviously isn't great, but an 83 overall rookie? Are you kidding me? That's nuts. With the third pick, we're going to take Lawrence Lawson, a corner from UCLA. He had a very slow 40 with a 4.53, and in the draft stories, they were saying he ran really fast, which there were some fast corners, so I'm going to probably take later because we only have Josh Norman. Like, that's actually it. Our next best is a 63 overall dude, 80 overall superstar. So he's drafted 78 superstar, 83 normal, 80 superstar. I'm a pretty good drafter, aren't I? With the 7th pick, we really need a receiver. Kenny Britt's not long-term, and all we have is Corey Coleman. So we're going to take Theodore Gold. Had a slow 40, but he looks really good. There's also another receiver who's really fast, who I want later in the draft, 75 normal. I mean, the wide receiver we drafted in the Jets rebuild, the first pick was 76 normal. I thought he was going to be awful, and he was actually pretty decent. He's our 3rd best receiver at this point, so he's definitely going to get good playing time. With the 12th pick, there's a really good running back for the one. I know we have Corral, but he looks really good. But this Michael McKay dude, 4.38, best 20-yard shot. He looks really good. So now we have Josh Norman, the 80 overall superstar guy we drafted earlier, and now Michael McKay, 80 normal. I will gladly take that. I know we have Crowell, but this Ben Vick dude looks nuts. 4.39 40, best recon, best 20-yard shuttle. Looks amazing. I believe he won All-Star Game MVP. Bye-bye, Crowell. Bye-bye, Crowell. With the 16th pick, we have Vic was 15, and our next pick is 17. So we're going to be taking Dylan Roberts. He's 5'8", but he looks amazing. 4.30, 40-yard time. Looks nuts. 78 quick. So Kenny Britt's definitely going to go. I know our targets aren't great, but both him and Vic have 96 speed. With the 17th pick, we're going to take Lewis Mims, an offensive lineman, because Joe Thomas is getting up there. He cannot pass block for his life, but hopefully he's pretty good. 78 quick. So if Joe Thomas retires in the near future, we're fine. When you skip the combine, you're a baller. Taylor Suggs is a big baller. Big baller. We're going to trade one of our second-round picks and 2-6 to the Broncos for Emmanuel Sanders. I know we drafted that Roberts kid who looks pretty good, as well as some other guy. And we have Corey Coleman. Kenny Britt is not on our roster. No clue where he is. But we're getting Emmanuel Sanders. I know he's in top tier, but he's still really, really good, and I really, really like him. I must apologize to Jarrad Davis because we're getting Quan Alexander for a second. We're also getting a 7th. I'm going to have Quan in middle linebacker. I know he's really good at safety, but we just drafted that really good rookie safety with our first overall pick. And, yeah, I'm sorry, Jarrad Davis. I'm sorry. Buddy. We traded a first-round pick, Isaiah Crowell, and Quan Alexander to the Raiders for Khalil Mack. We're going to move Kirksey back to middle linebacker. I chose to trade Quan over Kirksey because Kirksey's on the Browns in real life and Quan's not. Browns fans are not going to be offended I trade Quan, but maybe they would if I traded Kirksey. Here is the team for season number 2. Kaiser, Vick, Sanders, Coleman, Roberts, 93 overall, and Njoku. A great offensive line, which did not change. Well, actually, Latonio's at left guard instead of Greco. The defensive line looks great. 2 rookies, 99 Garrett. The linebacking core of Khalil Mack looks sick. The corners, Josh Norman and some rookies. We also have the number 1 overall pick, Marsh, and 88 overall, Jabril Peppers. I think we should win a Super Bowl. And if not, then I want to keep this team exactly the same because this team is so sick. At the end of the season, Deshaun Kaiser had another good season, but we went 6-10. Our GOAT squad, don't really get it. Rushing, Ben Vick had a pretty solid season. Hopefully he got a lot of XP. Receiving, Corey Coleman was decent. Emmanuel Sanders was decent. Dylan Roberts had 1,000-plus yards and 10 touchdowns. Blocking, Joe Thomas 14 sacks, Charter 10 sacks. I'd like that to go down. Kirksey led us in tackles. Sacks, I'm very excited. 17.5 for Khalil Mack, 17 for Myles Garrett. This Khalil Mack-Myles Garrett tandem would be nuts. Picks, 7 for Josh Norman. Good to see. I would like to see his win. Do we have any awards? No, probably. Melvin Ingram. Ben Vick, Offensive Rookie of the Year. He already a superstar, but he's going to get so much XP. Lawrence Lawson, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I didn't even see his stats. Here's the new team. Kaiser's now at 82. Ben Vick's now at 89. Very happy I chose him over Quell. And Njoku's in 96. Roberts is in 83. Let's look at the defense. Robertson's in 85. Lawrence is in 86. Pepper stayed the same. Marsh, our number 1 overall pick, is in 82. He's been one of our worst draft picks, and he's still really good. In day 1 of free agency, we re-signed Khalil Mack because he didn't want to come back originally. We also re-signed Danny Shelton, and we also bring in Jordy Nelson. I'm trying to get Marshall as a backup running back. I'm not going to say if I get him or not because he's the backup to Vic. Oh, Joe Thomas retired. Okay. So I have some draft picks, and I may want to trade for a left tackle because other than that, I have no clue what to trade for because this team is so good. To replace Joe Thomas, we're going to get Zach Martin, 99 overall GOAT. Already 3rd and final season. This team isn't that much different, which is a bit concerning since last year we went 6-10. Here's the offense. Here's the defense. But we really, really should win a championship if you think about it. Our worst position is 3 safety, and we have an 82 superstar who we just drafted at the first pick at 3 safety. So I would say that's not much of a concern. How on earth we went 8-8 with this team? I don't get it. I don't get it. Who won our division? The Ravens at 10-6. The Bengals also made it. I don't know how we made the playoffs for one thing, but how do we go 8-8? We're so good. I'm going to XP the team up. Hopefully, we can make it out of the first round, but knowing Madden, we won't. Probably. Alright, we gotta pull it out. We may be 8-8, but our team is so good. Our worst player is the 84 overall safety we drafted. That's our worst. Thank you. We won by 1. Kaiser 3 touchdown passes. Come on, please. Please. We're too talented. How? How does this team right here? You see this team? Let's look at the defense. How does this team not win a Super Bowl? No freaking clue.